of imperialism. It was a language of the colonizers and hence gained popularity as it was enforced on the colony. Now, the British had lost their power and glory and had no more influence on all the nations it had once colonized. The symbol of a language that is entirely British. What began as a symbol of British supremacy has now acquired a new dimension, that of being the language of educated. English is a doorway to the world of success. English is the medium that leads us on to an enriching experience of knowledge unlike the other languages that restrict our knowledge to specific areas. It is also the language that is most popularly used around the world, and hence one can widen the scope of interaction with the people of the world. Hence, in a modern context, I believe that English is indeed the gateway to knowledge, rather than a symbol of British supremacy, as the latter is a thing of the past, a fairy story that has long been forgotten. Let's bury the past and take the boat by the arms for our success. Thank you.
Well done. Now, may I request all those who are standing at the entrance to come in and take their seats. There are ample seats vacant here, and the door being closed, so that people who sit here will enjoy nice air. Thank you. Now, the reason why I concentrate, the Anvil 2000 program is not a personality development program alone. It has many areas under it. First of all, it's public speaking course was there, English grammar, English pronunciation, then a spoken English course, learning strategies, dispelling fear, creative thinking, so many aspects. We just asked them, and a little bit of SAT and TOEFL was also taught. But I'm sure I can only sow the seeds. Those who make it grow is somebody else. Okay? Right. Now, the next boy is also coming for the first time. Remember him? He's a great boy. Asim Ashraf.
Think like a wise man, but communicate in the language of the people. And the wise man's language is English. Honorable members of the jury, distinguished guests, fellow participants, and my dear friends. It's my privilege to speak on the topic English, a symbol of British supremacy or a gateway to knowledge. First of all, we should know what is English. English is a combination of many European languages, and it reached its zenith during the 18th and 19th century because of the imperialistic attack of British in the world. English, the world's most spoken language. 1 out of 4 people in the world can be reached through English. No other language is capable of handling the technicalities of administration and justice. All the literary works have been translated to English. More than 95% of websites in the internet is published in English. These are the reasons that compel me to accept the fact that English is a gateway to knowledge and eventually to success. Once a writer said, English language is the instrument of science and words are but the ideas of knowledge. Indians look upon English as a language of opportunity. English has become the household language for millions of people. Nations live in harmony because there is one language understood by all, that is English. English is no more an alien language, but it helps to live in this hypersonic age. I now conclude my speech by saying that English language is the password to log on to success. Thank you.
different ideas coming from different minds. So that's it. They have a lot more to contribute to our civilization and to this country and to our nation. And the next is the female candidate, Manar Mushfiq.
Respected judges, fellow participants, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to one and all of you out there. The topic of today's debate is English, a symbol of British supremacy or the gateway to knowledge. The one advantage humans have over animals is the power of speech. It dispels the common gap between the people of the different cultures. Britishers have definitely succeeded in leaving an impact on the world by making English as an international language. The British contribution to the world the British succeeded in contributing to all the sectors of the world. British colonization in the 19th century was undoubtedly the main cause for the spread of English throughout the world. Wisdom is a principal thing, therefore get wisdom. And the only way out to get wisdom is through English. The reason why English is spread throughout the world is because of the language which everybody can understand. It is a language which is so easy to communicate with the different cultures of the people. It is a must to speak English if you want to live in today's luxurious world. In today's world, 90% of the postal mails are written and addressed in English. Business dealings are conducted in English. Scientific papers are written in English. It's clear from this that English is blood of thoughts, and without it, nothing can be done. I would like to conclude my speech by saying that we should thank the Britishers for introducing such a sweet language to us, and it is the only way out to success. Thank you.
Judges, please note that it was 11th candidate, Manar Mushfiq, and that we now calling on Sharif Dost Mohammed.
And my fellow participants, good evening. English, a language which is used as a means of communication worldwide. But the question before us is English, a symbol of British supremacy or a gateway to knowledge? Well, it was a symbol of British supremacy once, but now it's a means of knowledge. I strongly believe that English is a means of knowledge, and if someone asks me, I would say that it is the only way to knowledge, because almost all the books that we learn in our schools are written in English. English is truly a world language. Most of the computer emails, data are written in English. It is also the language that is used in the air traffic control. The students of today are the leaders of tomorrow. Students who know English mostly succeed in their life. They are a gift to their nations as they help their nation in achieving prosperity. Students, our country needs students who have muscles of iron and nerves of steel. So I conclude by saying that students having muscles of iron and nerves of steel can only be a success if they know a simple language which is easily understandable by others, and that is English. Thank you.
The next participant is Ajay Laxmati.
Honorable judges, fellow participants, parents, and my dear friends, a very, very good evening to one and all. The topic given to me is English, a symbol of British supremacy or gateway to knowledge. English is truly a world language. It's the main language used in international trade, diplomacy, and scientific research. Most of the world's mail and computer data is written in English. English is also the language of the air traffic control. In the days of William Shakespeare, English was spoken by 5 million inhabitants in England. During some 400 years later, English is spoken by an estimated 700 million people worldwide. Of this, more than 300 million speak English as their native language. English is also, Old English is very, very different from the English we use today. The history of English is divided into three major periods: Old English, Middle English, and Modern English. Today, English, like all other languages, continue to grow and change. It is likely that English will remain the world's most important language for some more time to come. There are no major competitors waiting to take over. However, no language situation is ever permanent. Greek, Latin, and French continue to grow and change, and there is no reason to suppose that English will retain its present status forever. So, I conclude my speech by saying that English is a worldwide language, which is nobody's personal property. It's a global lingua franca for those completely use.
It's not very easy to stand before an audience. It's quite easy to stand in front of your friends and chat on hours on ends, even without a topic. But you should appreciate the way they come up and stand before you. And that's a special request, please. Every child is important to his or her parent. So we humbly request all those who are sitting in this room to be quiet, so that will be a sort of respect to the person who is standing here. Thank you very much. And now, yes, Salim, number 13, Salim Ahmed.
Respected members of the jury, invited guests, and my dear friends. Most of us speak English. About 75% of the world's population speak English as their second language. Has anyone thought why is it so? Today, I am going to explain you the same. I strongly believe that English is a symbol of British supremacy. British ruled over most of the parts of the world and forced people to use their language. It further led to discrimination among people. People who knew English had superiority on people who didn't know English. Let's talk about our own country, that is India. There are about 25 languages in India, but most of us use English to communicate with each other. This is only because of the influence of British rule over India. India's mother tongue is Hindi, but only a few people speak Hindi. Why is it so? Did anyone think of it? And also, people who speak Hindi are considered of lower grade. This is also an example of British legacy which still exists in our country. So, my dear friends, I strongly believe that there should be one international language to communicate with the people of the world, but it should not be of any particular state. I conclude by saying that British left India, but they unfortunately they left behind their garbage, and that is English.
A couple of decades ago, when I was a student of Bhopal University, my professor, Zakir Rahman Khan, told me an important line which I still remember. He said, "Oommen, whenever you swim, never swim along with the current, swim across the current. That's where you'll be noticed." So if you swim along with the current, nobody notices. You'll be one among a million. So if you try to swim across, people notice who is the guy. So we have noticed him. He was a very shy. He's a student of 10th grade, and he's a student of a Indian school, and his brother is also there. He'll be following soon. The next is the brother of JLX is Matthew. Andrew Matthew.
Guests, parents, and dear friends. The topic on record is English, a symbol of British supremacy or a gift of knowledge. English is truly a world's language. Its main language is used in international trade, diplomacy, and scientific research. Most of the world's mails and computer data is in English. English is also a language of air traffic control. In
William Shakespeare's day, English is spoken by only a few inhabitants or 5 million inhabitants of England. Today, some 400 years later, English is used by an estimated 700 million people worldwide. Of this, more than 3 million speak English as a native language. Old English is different from the English we use today. The history of English is divided into 3 major groups: Old English, Middle English, and Modern English. Today, English, like all living language, continues to grow and change. It's likely that the English will remain the world's most important language from Islam time to come. There are no major competitions to take over. However, no language traditions ever permanent. Greek, Latin, and French lost their worldwide influence, and there is no reason to suppose that English will retain its present status forever. Thank you.
Next is Ali Ahmed.
Member of the jury, invited guests, and the participants. Good evening. There is nothing to say about English. Almost all the people believe that English is a gateway to knowledge. Even I can say that English is a gateway to knowledge. English is spoken by billions of people of the world. English is the language used in communication. English is spoken as the first language by 300 million people of the world. So, I strongly believe that if there is no English language, we wouldn't be able to communicate with people and understand the subject which are mostly written in English. Thank you.
Next is Betsy Abraham.
Honorable judges, distinguished guests, respected members of the ISC, Professor Varghese, parents, and my dear friends. The topic that I would like to talk about is English, a symbol of British supremacy or a gateway to knowledge. I strongly stand for the notion that English is indeed a gateway to knowledge. Today, the only language that could be understood by all is English. It is an international language. More than 75% of the world use it either as an official language or as a first language. It is used as a primary means of communication between nations to discuss bilateral issues, etc. Most of the literary and scientific works are also written in English. Why is it so? Because the common people can read and understand. Earlier, all these works were in Latin, because it was the language of the aristocracy. The prominent language for communication and information is English. I myself have to speak in English to understand my colleagues who come from different parts of my own country. To have a taste of all the cultures of the world, we must have a common language to all, that is English. But I still don't understand why we accept English as the international language and not any other language. It could be the influence of the British colonization. So I would like to conclude my speech by saying, boost your knowledge as you learn this beautiful language, English. Thank you.
The next is, you're going to witness another candidate, equally interesting, as a Shabul Hamid.
Before I begin my speech, I have a small notice to make. Mr. Oommen Varghese just stated a couple of minutes ago that it's always better to swim against the current and not with the current. Well, I've decided to swim with the current because I believe it's right and truth always wins. So here I go. Respected judges, invited guests, fellow participants, and my dear friends, good evening. I could have said these two lines in any language that I wanted to, but still, I chose English. Why? Because it's not just any language, it is the language. In the 17th century, at the peak of Britain's colonial power, English existed in every corner of the globe. From the islands of the Pacific to the villages of India, from the mountain villages of Africa to the dreary deserts of Arabia. But does that mean we should sum it up as a symbol of British supremacy? The answer is no, a big no, because English is a language that brought the world together. Most of the books worldwide are written in English. As we take a plunge into the 21st century, the world is moving towards globalization, and if ever man succeeds in knitting the world into a global village, then how? How are we going to communicate with people from 212 different countries? The role of English comes here. It will be the only language which can be used when we talk about globalization. The language has revolutionized communication and has given this unique word a new meaning. A meaning that will stand the test of time. Communication no longer stands for talking alone, but the exchange of ideas, emotions, and information. And that is exactly why I, as a person, am able to stand here today and speak out to you, conveying my thoughts, conveying my emotions, and conveying my idea that English is, was, and will always be, no, not just any language, the language responsible for shaping and molding our global society into what it is and what it will be. I am now departing the podium by saying that English is a gateway to knowledge, an endless ocean of knowledge. After all, I am only one in a million, and my voice will be drowned in the sea of ignorance if you, each and every one of you in this audience, open up your minds and think, why? Why should we consider it as a relic of Britain's supremacy? Is it right? Or should we rethink? Thank you.
I'm sure it will be a difficult task for the judges to judge as to who is the best. I think their better sense will prevail. Now, the next candidate is Vinu Ashok.
Honorable judges, parents, invited guests, and my dear friends. The subject I would like to speak on whether English is a symbol of British supremacy or a gateway to knowledge. English is the second most spoken language in the world. There are about 700 million people who speak English. Of them, 300 million people are native speakers. 300 million people use it as a second language of science, aviation computing, diplomacy, tourism, etc. It is listed as official or co-official languages of 45 countries, including India and Pakistan. There is a debate going on in India about the growing emphasis on learning English is dividing the society. Though English has been the language of our government since colonial days, it has been used as a passport for securing jobs. English has come to stay as an important medium that helps in the development of personality of a person and communication. It has helped us to create a notion that English is a passport to success. Learning Sanskrit may give children a strong sense of identity, but it may be of any use their later life. So, I would like to conclude this essay by saying that English should be our link language and only English can replace any other language. Thank you.
In addition to that, the gentleman who donated the prize told me to give 2 more prizes to the best female student and the best male student. In addition to that, the same gentleman has given me another 5 prizes, which will be given away as a consolation prizes. So, there will be, please don't go away. Perhaps your son or daughter stands a chance of getting or nabbing one. And I think the judges will help me to find these names as you get to the final stage of the speech. And the next is the man who conducted the mock interview, Varghese.
Respected parents, distinguished guests, good evening. I'm here to express my views on the topic, English, a symbol of British supremacy or a a gateway to knowledge. I strongly believe that it is a gateway to knowledge because it is the most common language used in today's world. About 75% of the world population speak English as a first or second language. In many countries, it is only not spoken, but it is also used as administration. It is also used for business purposes. English has the largest vocabulary than any other languages. English is now reaching all corners of the world. Other languages may get exhausted, but English will never come to rest. Men are not decided by their deeds alone. They are decided by the words, because it is from the words a man's ambition and readiness is coming from. Therefore, I strongly believe that English is not a British symbol of British supremacy. It is a vehicle for us which will lead us to one mind to another, one culture to another, one nation to another. So I strongly believe that English is a symbol, is not a symbol of British supremacy, but a gateway to knowledge. Thank you.
The next is Milton.
Honorable judges, respected members of the IAC, parents, and my dear friends. I take this opportunity to express my views on the topic English, a symbol of British supremacy or a gateway to knowledge. I strongly believe that it's a gateway to knowledge because it is English. English is used in most of the countries today. If two people want to communicate with each other and both of them don't know each other's language, then English is the only way out. Therefore, it is known as a link language. All classic books are written by different writers in different languages but are not able to understand by different, the common people. Therefore, it was translated to English for other people to read and understand. In the business section, most of the products are labeled in English for other people to buy such products. Most of the sites in the internet are in English, and scientific papers and formulas are written in English. English is used by the whole world to buy and sell, for communicating, for inventions, and for communicating. So I would like to conclude my speech by saying, it is knowledge that you stand to gain from English. Thank you. Honorable judges, my guests, dear parents, honorable judges, invited guests, dear parents, and all my dear fellow participants, very good evening to one and all. The topic for today's debate is whether English is a symbol of British supremacy or a gateway to success. It's very, very negative to think that English signifies British supremacy. During the colonial days, many Asian and African countries were conquered by the European giants. They, however, left behind few of the traits which got induced into us. Most of them left behind the influence of the language in their respective conquered countries. It was just a coincidence that Britain had conquered a lot more countries than other imperialistic nations. English is just a simple language, and it's just used to spread knowledge and communication. And here, the important thing to be noted, it's not the language that's important, it's the knowledge, it's the message, it's the information that you pass on with it. That's more important. The English also left behind the famous game cricket. And everyone knows how passionate we Indians, or perhaps you are, of this game. Everyone plays this game. Is it that whenever we play this game, we lie under the hands of the British? Is it a sign of British success? Well, my friends, the answer is no. A very big no. English is a universal language, and that's just by accident. It could have been German, French, or for that matter, even Hindi. Basically, what
to express his knowledge. Today, all successful men are those having knowledge and, more importantly, the ability to express it. India, being the 7th most largest country in this world, is suffering a problem of unity. And the answer is quite clear. It's because of the diverse culture, language, and more importantly, the means of speaking. What I think, and maybe you too, will be English is the only solution to this problem, and it will act as a unifying bond for India. Now that we all accept English as a universal language, let's use it as our gateway to success. With these few words, let me conclude my words.
Sandeep is a good dancer as well. So he has no stage fright. That's right. You could see the punches in the air. Right. The next is the youngest participant of this program, the girl child, Betsy Abraham.
Honorable judges, fellow participants, parents, and my dear friends, I take this opportunity to stand here and say a few words on the topic, English, a symbol of British supremacy or a gateway to knowledge. I believe that English is not a symbol of British supremacy. Instead, it is an international language by which we can communicate with different nationalities. Suppose a Russian wants to communicate with an Indian and they both don't know each other's language. What will they do? The only way out is through English. So it is called as a linking language. English is used in most of the countries. Books were written in different languages. So it was not understood by common people like us. Then it was translated into English to be read and understood. So we can have the knowledge of various cultures if we know English. English belongs to the Indo-European family. Most of the business correspondence are carried out in English. The labels of products are mostly written in English. Even though the most widely spoken language is Chinese, it is confined to a limited area. Most of the people of different countries use English as their official language or as their second language. Scientific works are done in English. Most of the classes in different languages have been translated into English, and it is also being read and understood by us. So, dear friends, I would like to conclude my speech by saying that English is indeed a gateway to knowledge. So, master it. Thank you.
In grade 5, and when she attended my first course, she was in grade 4 last year. Right, that's Betsy. Now, equally interesting speech will be Ron Matthew, and he's attending this course for the second time. Ron.
The famous poet John Gray once said about English as the language with thoughts that breathe and words that burn. Respected members of the ISC, honorable members of the jury, distinguished guests, Professor Oommen, parents, our worthy opponents, and of course, my dear friends, a very good evening to all of you. Today, I face two questions. Is English a gateway to our gains, or is it a symbol of the British reign? Rudyard Kipling is proved wrong when he says, "Oh, the East is East and the West is West, and never shall twain meet. For both the East and the West has already met, and the English language will cost." Armstrong, when he took his first steps to the moon, said, "A small step for man, a giant leap for mankind." We can compare this to what happened in the 19th century, when the British took their first steps, a small step to their success, but it turned out to be a giant leap, a gateway to thoughts of freedom, fraternity, and the like. So when such a language that has influenced our lives so much, we should be the only ones who should come up to be the ones to come, see, and conquer the Kohinoor present, the English language. Who said that the English language was the pocket property of the British? Who said that their sun had not yet set? It had set a long time ago, a very long time ago. The truth about English is that it is the only medium to express the knowledge that we have in us. To see, for example, many of us have loads of knowledge in us, but not a medium to express it. And that medium is English. And hence, English remained, and will continue to remain as the only undebatable universal language. Well, to cement up my ideas, I would like to ask you all a few questions. Don't we all follow an English way of life? Dress up in an English dress code? And play, enjoy, and sit for hours glued in front of the TV monitors to see a 3-hour English summer game cricket? Don't these activities signify the British supremacy? Then why only such a biased nature only to the English language? Saying these words, I would like to wind up my speech by inviting you all over here to be the ones to wake up at the stroke of midnight hour. Let us be the ones to wake up when the world sleeps in a bed of phonetic adherence to his own language. Let us, we be the ones to walk through this gateway that holds the linguistic wonders of the world, that will open the doors to a never-ending success in our life. And that is the English language. Thank you, thank you.
That was wrong. Next is Robin Roy.
Honorable judges, respected parents, fellow participants, and dear friends, a very good evening to you. I am here to speak on the topic English, a symbol of British supremacy on the gateway to knowledge. Education is an essential part of culture. More than gestures, language plays an important role in the development of a civilized man. Realize the importance of an international language. What should be the means of communication? In fact, English has been universally recognized as an international means of language. It is through English that Ruskin, Tagore, Gandhi, and Carlyle have communicated their thoughts and aspirations to the outer world. English is used as the first language, second language, official language, or as a popular foreign language. English plays an important role in connecting the people of various cultures, and thus it makes the world into a single unit. To quote F.D. French, anyone who can read English can keep in touch with the whole world without leaving his own home. Knowledge of English is a passport to employment. English is one of the 6 official languages of the UNO. Let me conclude my speech by saying that English should be taught in our schools as a medium of instruction. Thank you.
It will be only 6 more speeches to go by. And there's a beautiful music entertainment coming your way. This time it has been imported from one of the northern states of India. They call it the Rhapsodies. I hope you'll enjoy them later. And in the meantime, we'll have a break. And
a gateway to knowledge, or a symbol of British supremacy. English language, with its great literary heritage, is no longer a language of a particular country. We must get ourselves rightly benefited by this language, which is a source of international mutual contact among all the people of the world. It has become quicker and easier for the people of the world to communicate among themselves because of English. English contains the richest treasure in literature. English is understood and spoken by more than half of the world. In a sense, it has become an international language. It is almost indispensable for higher studies. English will enrich our social and economical life along with any other language. When every educated man from the advanced countries has to know one or two foreign languages, which language shall he choose as a compulsory study? Englishmen or anything related to them gives us a bitter feeling within our hearts. But to learn English does not mean to evolve a slave mentality. English as a language and for its literary accomplishment should be made compulsory for studies. Its future is neither dark nor dim, but is very bright. So, I conclude my speech by saying that English should be made compulsory, and only then will we know that it is a gateway to knowledge. Thank you.
Invited guests, respected parents, fellow participants, and my dear friends, I'm here to speak on the topic English, a symbol of British supremacy or a gateway to knowledge. As you all know that English is the basic language for communication. Today, English continues to be the supreme while other languages are not. It provides a vehicle for communicate people who speaks different languages. English is like a wide ocean. This helps you building in your future for everyone. English is a common language for everyone. English gives you more knowledge than Arabic and Hindi. Full advantage must be taken of this language. English is international language. It has been so long domesticated that it has become almost naturalized. English must continue to flourish and flower in this naturalized climate. It has a wonderful ability and simplicity of expression. Therefore, I suggest every one of us should learn English and make our lives better through closer interaction and cooperation. If a language can improve our life, what are we waiting for? And I am sure English is the right choice.